What's going on, guys? This is your boy Dante with Dante's Boxer Nation. And let me tell you something right now. If you guys are looking for the best fragrance products in the world, you need to go to ashkicking.com. That is ashkicking.com. Keep your home smelling fresh and clean with Ash Kicking fragrance products. Treat your skin and hair with Ash Kicking all-natural health and beauty products. Everything you need to create a comfortable home living environment and create a comfortable space for entertaining. The best incense burners in the world, home fragrance products, and health and beauty products, go to ashkicking.com.
Brothers and sisters! Brothers and sisters! I don't know what this world is coming to.
Hey yo, check this out. This is Flavor Flav, and if you want the whole truth and nothing but the whole truth, so help the whole truth. Hey yo, you better listen to Dante, baby. Dante!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another great edition of the Dante's Boxing Nation show. I am your host, Dante. It's going down like a plane crash. Boy, oh boy, it sure went down like a plane crash over there at HBO, didn't it? We're going to talk about it, y'all. We're going to talk all about it. HBO, they finally pulled the plug on HBO Boxing. Jim Lampley is unemployed, at least starting 2019 he is. Once again, I'm sure Fox News or somebody will pick him up. I know he ain't going to Showtime. He ain't getting down with Al Heyman, so man, it's crazy, man. Karma, they say the only opponent you can't beat is time or Father Time. There's another opponent that's pretty damn tough, and his name is Karma, right? Once again, man, HBO and all the other decafs, they've been trying to program us to believe that people on the coincidental list like Al Heyman was bad for the sport of boxing. He was the cancer of the sport. He was going out of business. He was spending too much money. He's going broke. They was praying for his demise. And all that man did was win, 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 no matter what. What's going on, everybody in the comment section? Hey guys, I apologize. I had some serious technical difficulties, man. The computer was tripping out. It was doing all kind of wild stuff at the last minute. So I had to go ahead and take care of that. But we good now, man. We good now. Yeah, man. It's some amazing news, isn't it? It's just amazing when you think about it, man. They were saying that it was Al Heyman. They were saying that it was Al Heyman who was going to go out of business, right? They were saying it was Al Heyman who was going to go out of business. They were saying all kind of stuff like that. And all of a sudden, the king of boxing networks, HBO, they completely close up shop. And it's all because, or mainly because, of their agenda that they had. And that was doing whatever it took to throw black fighters under the bus just to promote non-black fighters. And that backfired, man. That's why you're supposed to treat every fighter the same. If they deserve the credit, if they putting in the work, you give them the credit no matter what their skin color is. And this is something that HBO had a very hard time doing. So guys, the phones are open right now, or the phone lines, are open right now. You guys can call in. I'm gonna go ahead and take some calls in a minute. I appreciate you guys calling in. If you want to talk about anything, go ahead and hit us up. The number is on the screen. Let me see real quick what you guys are talking about. I might be rolling single. I might be rolling solo, I should say, tonight, because we doing this super late show. And I know everybody going to sleep, especially on the East Coast. My man said, Dante, what up, bro? What's going on, DeAndre? Yes, sir. DBN, DCN, DNN, DTN. All day, man. All day, man. Matter of fact, I've been in heavy production for Dante's Cooking Nation, man. I done shot 2 episodes today, and I'm putting everything together. I'm a busy man, y'all. I'm a busy man. I'm doing everything, man. I'm like one of them Jamaicans with 20 jobs. I'm the editor, I'm the cameraman, I'm the narrator, I'm the commentator, all of the above, man. We getting it in, man. Yeah, man. And shout out to my man already joining that super chat, DBN Army, donated to my man. I appreciate that, man. My man Ice Mike, he said Mungia needs to bring that belt to Showtime. Yeah, man, that is the question. I asked you guys the question when I did my video when I broke the news that HBO were pulling the plug on HBO boxing, and I asked the question in that video. I said, where is Golovkin and Canelo gonna go from here? Isn't that an interesting question? Boy, I can't wait to see where they go. Or is Canelo gonna go with Al Heyman? Or I won't say with Al Heyman because he's still with Golden Boy. But is he gonna go with Showtime? Is he gonna go with ESPN? Is Oscar De La Hoya gonna create his own little streaming website like Eddie Hearn did? Those are the questions, man. Yeah, man, Dante's Cooking Nation HBO is barbecue. Man, well done. Well done. Matter of fact, I did an episode of Dante's Cooking Nation on some barbecue tonight. Y'all gonna see that on the channel. Yes, sir. Y'all gonna see that on the channel, man, all day. I'm doing this show tonight, guys, because this will be the last show before I head back out of the country again. But don't worry, guys, there won't be no 2-3 weeks off because I'm gonna have all my studio equipment with me, and I'm gonna be doing the live streams overseas. But yeah, man, like I said, Showtime has completely knocked out HBO. I mean, they just completely slept their ass. Man, the crazy thing is, everything I've been telling you guys since day one, it has come to fruition. At least 95% of everything you guys have heard me say has come to fruition. When it was not popular to speak the truth. Well, it's never as popular to speak the truth because it goes against a lot of racist people's agenda. You know, especially if you have to praise some fighter or some manager or some boxing advisor that you don't want to praise. It goes against their personal preference and agenda. But I have been telling you guys since the emergence of Al Heyman, this was big for the sport of boxing. And now look how Al Heyman and Showtime, they continue to elevate and advance while HBO is now out of business. Do you guys know Jim Lampley used to talk bad about Al Heyman on his Fight Game show? You guys know that? Karma is something else, man, ain't it? Man, who would have thought Jim Lampley would be out of a job? The most racist commentator in the sport of boxing. It caught up to him. It's like a feel-good story, man. You know when the bad guy catches karma at the end of the movie, and the guy that he was bullying the whole movie ends up beating his ass at the end of the movie? Well, that's what happened to Jim Lampley and the gang, man. That's what happened to Jim Lampley and the gang. You know, things don't usually work out the way it's supposed to work out, especially in America. When it comes to justice, things don't usually work out the way they're supposed to work out. You know, like cops killing 12-year-old kids and not going to prison for it. But every once in a while, we get justice. It may happen every 20 years, but when it happened, god damn, it's beautiful, ain't it? DBN, baby. DBN Radio. We getting it in, y'all. Late night show. I know everybody sleep, but for everybody still up, let's get it in, y'all. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. It's funny when some of these fans try to say, hey, man, you're being biased. Hey, you know, you're criticizing HBO. Hey, man, stop calling Gennady Golovkin overrated. You're just biased. You don't like him. Man, everything I've said about Gennady Golovkin, it is coming to light. You can't hide the truth, guys. You can't hide the truth. You cannot hide the truth. The truth will break free. You throw that truth in a jail cell, and that truth is going to find a way to break free, man. That truth is going to find a way to break free. I'm going to go ahead and take a call, but let me see what y'all talking about in the comment section real quick since I'm riding solo. So y'all in the comment section, y'all going to be, you know, my guest panelists tonight. What y'all talking about over here? All right. Yo, from Australia, that's what's up. Australia up in here, international style. Yes, sir. My man said FHBO. Yeah, we've been getting a lot of that today. Yeah. Wake your punk ass up. Growing up in the hood, MC8. I added on. I just added on to what my man said. He said wake your ass up. Stop playing and hit that like button. Yes, sir, man. That's right, Ice. Hey, man, if y'all like what we doing, man, go ahead and hit that like button, man. Or you could even show your love in the super chat section. You could donate to your boy. You know what I'm saying? If you want more live streams like this, you like us getting it in like this, that's what it is. Yep. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, man. I want one of these dudes to call in. What, bro? Actually, he said, bro, actually, you are biased against Triple G. I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not. What is that? He said, alt, not true, no truth. Something he said. But, hey, Gideon. Is that Gideon the Great? Hey, this is the kind of guy I want to call in. These are the type of fans I want to call in. I'm going to get everybody else. I'm going to answer the phone, and everyone else is going to get an opportunity to talk. But I want cats like this to call in because, once again, you cannot argue the truth. You can't argue the truth. So I want Gideon. I want everybody in the comment section to tell Gideon to call in, man, if he's being sarcastic. Unless he was just being sarcastic and, he was just joking. If that's the case, don't call in. But if you truly believe that anything that I or anyone else on the panel has said that was biased and it wasn't true, and it's only something that someone would say that has a personal beef against Golovkin. If you feel that way, call in, man, and explain it. Tell me what I said that some logical person that's not biased would never say or agree with. That's what I want you to do, man. So go ahead and call in, man. HBO has went home. Nah. Hey, see your ass later. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. HBO, man. HBO stands for high, bye, and as Floyd Sr. would say, over. Yeah, that's what HBO stands for, right? High, bye, over. That's what it is, man. So, yeah, man. So, Gideon, go ahead and call in, man. Go ahead and call in. That's what it is, man. That's what it is. We need some decafs to call in, man, because that's fun. It's fun when the decafs call in. Ooh-wee. I feel like it's Christmas when I get a decaf to call in. Hey. Yeah, Dante, I will not be surprised if we see Triple G go to the zone for obvious career-saving reasons. I completely agree with you. It wouldn't surprise me either. It wouldn't surprise me either, y'all. So, yeah, man. Let me see. I'm reading some of the comments before I take a call. I'm going to go ahead and take a call in a minute. Reading some of the comments. Damn HBO, bop, bam, over. HBO, a.k.a. hate blacks overwhelmingly. Yeah, man, they was on that 1940 stuff, man. I mean, Jim Lampley, he got so comfortable with his disdain towards black people, he didn't even try to hide it anymore. I mean, you had Jim Lampley who worked side by side with Andre Ward. And when Andre Ward when Andre Ward would fight, he would actually go against him as if he didn't even work with the man. That's that type of racism that you just not trying to cover up anymore. You ain't trying to be subliminal with it no more. You know what I'm saying? It's overt to a certain degree. Al Heyman pulled a Vince McMahon on HBO. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go to the phone lines once again, man. HBO has pulled the plug. HBO is a thing of the past. There is no more boxing. I alluded to it. You know, it's funny, real quick. It's funny how Jim Lampley, he had just came out with that interview where he compared he compared Golovkin, to Muhammad Ali. And he received a lot of backlash. But once again, if you speak too much, you expose yourself. It's kind of like you accidentally came out the closet, because that's pretty much what he did. He didn't expect, people to realize it. But once again, man, that microphone can be used as a rope. You give people that microphone and they will use it as a rope. You know what I'm saying? It'll either be used to pull them out of trouble and help them, or it could be used to hang their ass. And Jim Lampley, he kept putting that mic in his damn mouth, and eventually he hung himself. That's what happened. Let's go ahead and go to the phone lines and see what we got, guys. All right, man, let's see what we got on the phone lines. Take the first call. Oh, real quick. Is that Money Pal? No, that's
Kurt.
What's going on, man? Oh man, thanks for joining me all late night like this, family. What's good with you?
Hey, just living here in the news like everybody else.
Yeah, man, you the first person to send me that text, man. You sent me that text with HBO being over, so that before I get your take on it, let's take one call real quick, Kirk. Yeah, so I got my man Kirk.
Sure.
Yeah, my man Kirk Jackson, one of my regular panelists. He writes articles on BoxingInsider.com. He's gonna run this with me. Let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. So we have first on the horn, 951. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Yo, what's up, Dante? It's half man, half tree. I'm in San Diego.
What's going on, fam? What's good with you?
Man, this was a long time coming, man. I blame this on Larry Merchant first and foremost. I feel like he really, set the precedent for Lampley to follow in his footsteps. And then, I know a lot of people try to make excuses for Max Kellerman, but he's really biased too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got to get him out of there. And he's all on First Take talking about the NBA and all this. He doesn't know what he's talking about, to be honest. I knew HBO was out of there when they had their headliner as Toledo like a year or two ago. I was like, man, after Kovalev went down, and then they have Toledo as like their main event. I'm like, man, it's only a matter of time at this point. You know what I mean?
Man, and you know what, man? Just to add on to what you said, and let me just jump to Kirk real quick. Kirk, it's pretty crazy because we was just talking about this last week on the show, and I said, man, if you think about it, when you see Jaime Munguia in the HBO highlights, we go all the way back to the Roy Jones, the Pernell Whitaker, all the way to Floyd Mayweather era. We were used to seeing, fighters like Mayweather, Pacquiao, Roy Jones, Pernell Whitaker, and even Golovkin, when they had a lot of hope for him. We were used to seeing names like that in the boxing highlights. You go from that to seeing Jaime Munguia. I said in the show last week, that tells me that it's pretty much a done deal for HBO. And, your thoughts, man, when you first heard this news, what was your reaction, Kirk?
I actually laughed. I laughed out loud. I was like, damn. It's really open for this. And like you said, you go from Roy Jones to Oscar De La Hoya to Miguel Cotto to Floyd Mayweather to Manny Pacquiao. The list goes on and on to Munguia. That's how you know.
Yeah.
And to what the caller said, I'm more disappointed in Max Kellerman as well because Max Kellerman, he knows better. He knows the shit he says is wrong. Yeah. And he says a bunch of dumb things in First Take. So I'm glad we no longer have to listen to him as boxing goes unless you get a...
Hey, Money. Hey, Kirk, you kind of going up and down. Your audio is kind of going in and out as you're talking. I want to make sure they hear what you're saying. But go ahead.
Okay. And I was saying, Max, he might be able to get a gig with ESPN because he does First Take.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they're gone. They were horrible.
Of course.
They were horrible for the sport.
Of course they were horrible. And Kirk, the crazy thing, and by the way, I'm gonna get, hey brother, thanks for calling, man. I'm gonna get to another one, all right, man?
Yeah.
Hey, good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, and another thing, man, is when it comes to ESPN, man, I forgot my point. I was about to make another point. What was I about to say? I'm forgetting what I was about to say, but you know what? I'll get back to it. But let me go ahead and take another call real quick. I was about to add on to what you just said. I'll remember it in a minute. Let's go ahead and take another call, man. Let me see real quick. Let me take a look since I don't have a whole lot of people. My man said Dante hating on Jaime Munguia. Hey, how am I hating on Jaime Munguia? Are you honestly telling me it makes sense? Are you telling me it's the exact same thing having Jaime Munguia in the HBO highlights versus having the names I mentioned, Floyd Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, even Canelo Alvarez? These are names that are established. These are fighters that are pay-per-view fighters. Jaime Munguia is an undercard fighter right now. He's not a pay-per-view fighter. So how do you say that's the same thing. Because if you're saying that it's hating, then what you're really saying is that's the same thing. Oh, he should be getting the same type of treatment that Floyd Mayweather got or Roy Jones Jr. No, you have to be established as a star. They didn't throw, you guys have to understand something. They didn't throw Manny Pacquiao's highlights on HBO when he was beating, what was the African name? Mwamba, whatever his name was. When he was, what was his name?
Whatever his name.
Yeah. When
I think Laduba or something.
Yeah, you guys tell me the name of the guy Floyd, he beat. What's that? Don't forget the. Yeah. So once again, man, they didn't put Manny Pacquiao up there when he was winning, beating guys like that. They start putting him in the highlights when he started fighting on pay-per-view, when he started to fight the Oscar De La Hoyas, right? Not when he was at Jaime Munguia stage. So, that's pretty much what that is. Yeah, here, let me see what else y'all talking about over here. HBO, horrible bias organization. As he said, that's what it stands for. That's a good one right there. Extremely biased. And there was no, it's like I told you before, Kirk, when we listen to HBO, it's like you didn't even, if you were just watching boxing, you almost wouldn't even know what their titles were. You wouldn't even know that this man is a blow-by-blow announcer. You know what I'm saying? So he was just, he sound more like a fan. Like I told you guys before, there were times when he would call fights and the non-black fighter would throw a combination or let me say it the other way. The black fighter would throw a combination, he would go completely silent. And then as soon as the non-black fighter would throw a punch and he would say, oh, left hand by Manny Pacquiao, and this, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He would do this kind of stuff. That goes against your job description. You're supposed to be a blow-by-blow announcer. You can't be a blow-by-blow announcer just for your favorite fighter. And something else I want to say before I take another call is Abel Sanchez. He had just came out, a couple days ago, he said the whole panel, everybody except for Roy Jones, is biased at HBO. And then we hear this news like 3-4 days later. That is crazy. And for the fact that Abel Sanchez called them biased, knowing that Jim actually was biased in favor of his fighter, that lets you know that they're listening to new media. They're listening to new media, and the message is resonating regardless if you hate the truth or you love the truth. You cannot deny the truth. You can't deny the facts. Once again, hey, Gideon, I forgot about old Gideon. He never even sent another message after I told him to call in. See, once again, man, this is how they know. This is how we know this is the truth, Kirk. This is how we know this is the truth. Because once again, if we had an opportunity to call up Jim Lampley, if Jim was doing a show like this and he was giving fans an opportunity to call in, and he was like, if anything I said you don't agree with, you can call in, right? If he did that, man, he would have 100 people on the line waiting to get at his ass. And they would be hitting his ass with new media facts. You feel me? So don't give me that. So the fact that you have an opportunity to tell me what I said you disagree with, I was being sarcastic. Okay, Gideon. Okay, Gideon, I appreciate that. My man Gideon, he cleared it up. He said he was being sarcastic. Okay, bro, I appreciate that, man. But thanks for getting my hopes up high, man. I wanted to get a decaf on the phone. You done messed up my whole damn night, man. I was happy, boy. I felt like that 9-year-old kid waking up for Christmas, boy. I thought I had a decaf on the line. Anyway, y'all.
Well, you know what's really funny? Is what you touched on earlier, way back in the day. They disrespected Floyd Mayweather. He was their cash cow. Mm-hmm. They disrespected Mayweather. They disrespected Al Heyman. Now look at them. They lost the war.
Yeah. It's over. Yeah, they lost the war, and it's because it's largely because once again, when emotions are, when emotions are involved, you allow that to interfere with the job that you're doing, and you can't separate them. Eventually, it's going to take you down. And basically, you had people like Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, and maybe other people in HBO that we don't even know. They said they couldn't swallow their pride. They could not swallow their pride. They was like, I'm going to listen to the decafs. Because I know for a fact, man, they were listening to social media. Because people don't understand the influence of social media. Social media is powerful. And that's the reason why they listen to social media, and social media damn near social media damn near, took their ass off of a cliff, basically. Because you go back to Golovkin, and I got a little distracted. I was looking at the comments, guys. But anyway, social media, they basically distracted them by telling them that Golovkin was a star, so put him on pay-per-view. He's the biggest thing. He's going to replace Floyd Mayweather. And HBO starts saying, man, listen to these fans, man. Listen to the fans in the comment section. He is a star. They start believing the hype, and next thing you know, they put him on pay-per-view, and he bombed. Matter of fact, the Golovkin Lemieux numbers were so horrible that the person who put that fight, who was in charge of putting that fight on pay-per-view on HBO, he got fired.
Probably.
Yeah. What'd you say, Kurt?
Yeah, I say he got fired. I mean,
yeah, he got fired.
Did it even do 100K?
You broke up a little bit. What'd you say?
Did it even do 100K? As far as buys go?
Yeah, it did. It did 97,000. There was a report that it did 97,000, and then there was another report that it did 150,000. But it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. Golovkin and Golovkin. So far, Golovkin has been involved in 3 pay-per-views, right? Or was it 4? Was Danny Jacobs a pay-per-view fight?
I believe so. Yeah.
If that was a pay-per-view fight, then that's 4 pay-per-views. He was supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather. See, I'm telling you, man, I know how racist people think, and I just know how certain people, decafs, if you will, I know how they think. They basically looked at it like, wait a minute, if Floyd Mayweather can be this big of a star, but yet so many people hate him, what if we get someone who has the complexion for the protection and nobody hates him? He should be even bigger than Floyd Mayweather. That's exactly what their thinking was. But what they did not take into consideration is the fact that Floyd Mayweather, he had to build that. And it wasn't overnight. He had to go through years and years of Larry Merchant crapping on him on HBO and saying, oh yeah, but he's never going to be a star. Look how boring he is. He'll never be a star. This is what Larry Merchant said over 10 years ago. Look at the karma. Larry Merchant and Bob Arum, by the way, I remember Floyd or Larry Merchant told all promoters who has a fight at the MGM Grand. Canelo is not as big as Floyd Mayweather, but they put his big banner up there on the building. You know what I mean? So now HBO is out of business, and Floyd Mayweather, he ended up promoting the Floyd Mayweather Manny Pacquiao fight without Bob Arum and becoming the first boxing billionaire. Karma is something else, Kurt. Karma is something else, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, go ahead.
And that's a prime example. That's a prime example to anyone listening. Don't ever let anyone tell you what you can't do.
Yep. All right. Excellent point. Hey, let's take another call, man. Let's go ahead and take another call. We got 773. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, it's Melvin Jackson. I'm calling from Chicago.
What's going on, Mel? What's good with you?
And I think I'm on a roll. I called 3 last streams in a row.
Yeah, that's what's up. You said last 3s in a row?
Yeah.
Were you the third caller? That's what's up. What's on your mind, man?
Well, guess what? Y'all basically said everything y'all needed to say about HBO's demise, and I agree with everything you said. And the other news is speaking of karma, is Billy Joe Saunders.
Yeah, the chicken thrower. Yeah,
Yeah. Funny. Speaking of chicken, he was just talking about how Canelo. He was shitting on him because he got tested bad, and he was saying that Canelo need to be banned from the sport. So Billy, won't you say you should get banned from the sport now, man?
Oh, man, that's a serious backfire right there. That's a serious.
Yeah, how about you say yourself, man? I need to get banned from the sport.
That's a good point, man. And
Karma's a bitch, ain't it?
Karma's a bitch, man. Karma's a bitch on clenbuterol on your ass, So, man, that's some stuff right there. And the thing is, Billy Joe Saunders, he will most likely get stripped of his belt. That's real unfortunate too, because now we don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I'm thinking it's too close to the fight for Demetrius Andrade to get in there with Billy. He done already moved up in weight. This dude is still gonna benefit from the drugs that's in his system. So it's almost impossible for this fight to happen, man. But once again, man, this is just really, really bad. This is really bad for Billy Joe Saunders, really, really bad for HBO. But
and I really wanted to see that fight.
Everybody did, man.
Everybody
did.
Yeah.
That was a great thing.
Yeah, that's a great fight, man. That's a great fight, and now we're not going to see it. But once again, man, it'll be really, really interesting to see where Golovkin and Canelo are going to go, and where does Jim Lampley go? Does he just hang it up and give it up? You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting to see what happens, man. So that's pretty much what it is. But once again, man, thanks for calling in, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get to another one. All right, man.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dante. Hey, quit being biased, man.
No doubt, man. I'm gonna try, man. All right, man. Take care.
All right.
Take care.
Much love.
Much love. You gotta love these damn code words, boy. You gotta love these damn code words. Because that's all they are is code words. But anyway, so yeah, man, that's pretty much what it is. HBO is over. Nah. You know the rest. Man. So yeah, man. Let me see over here real quick.
What's really crazy? It's really crazy. If you look at boxing right now, boxing arguably is the biggest it's been in decades.
It's the biggest what?
And boxing right now, the position it's in as far as exposure and young fans and the young audience being engaged with the sport, it's the biggest it's been in decades.
Yeah.
That interest is there, and for HBO to be out, that's just crazy.
Yeah, it's super crazy. And once again, man, I mean, I would really like to ask, people that work for HBO, maybe like Roy Jones or somebody like that, do you feel that that HBO was affected? Because I know he ain't gonna come out flat out and say, yeah, they shouldn't have never let they should have never let Floyd Mayweather go. But I just want to ask him, does he think that they took any type of hit, that they regressed even a little bit when they decided to let Floyd Mayweather go over to next door to Showtime? I would love to ask him that question right there, because it's only obvious. Like I said, that's once again, when Floyd Mayweather left, that's when the Titanic hit that iceberg, and when Top Rank left, that's when everybody started jumping off the damn Titanic, because it was already a wrap. You know what I mean? You had a better chance surviving hanging on to one of them damn, icebergs, them little icebergs floating and shit, so that's pretty much what that was. But yeah, let's go ahead once again and take another call. Let me see over here. Oh yeah, I gotta go to the super chat section and see what's good over here. Let me go to the super chat section real quick. Hold on, y'all. I'm over here multitasking, doing a million different things right now to keep the show rolling, so I get a little distracted. Okay, let me go over here. Let me go to the super chat section. Hey, man, I appreciate y'all showing that love, man. Let me once again introduce some of the members of the DBN Super Chat Army, man. You guys know what it is, man. Once again, I appreciate my man Ice Mike, my man, one of the lieutenants of that DBN Army, my man Dale McCree. He said, HBO gone. God, now some real matches can be made. Al, in charge now. Yes, sir, Dale. Al been in charge for a long time, man. He been in charge for a long time. That boy, he done bought Boardwalk, and what's the other property? Kirk, help me out. Boardwalk, and what's the other one? Park Place. Was it Park? Was it Park Place? What was it?
I think. What is it, man?
You knew when you know on Monopoly when you got Boardwalk, and I think it was Park Place. You done damn near won the game.
That blue property.
Huh?
That blue property.
Yeah. It is Park Place. Yeah, it's Park Place. Yeah, so that man came out, and once he bought Boardwalk and Park Place, it was a wrap. Everybody was like, damn. You got Al Heyman, you got Oscar De La Hoya and Bob Arum. They looked at it and said, oh man, this fool, he done bought Boardwalk and Park Place. We might as well just stop playing with his ass. Monopoly all day. He monopolized the game, man. He monopolized the game. So shout out to Dale McCree. Shout out to another one of the DBN lieutenants running it in the super chat section. I appreciate it. My man Julio L. He said, tell Jim Lampley they're hiring at staffing agencies for loading and unloading trucks now that he got fired. Yeah, man. I mean, he got a good resume, Julio. The boy got a good resume. He'll go in there and get that loading job in a minute. He'll get it in a heartbeat. I mean, his resume speaks volumes. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see him working for Fox News. I'm being dead serious. We done seen a couple sportcasters realistically go from sports to politics. Rush Limbaugh is one of them. Remember, you guys know who Rush Limbaugh? He's one of the most racist people in America. He used to be a football sportscaster, and he got fired, and he ended up doing his own syndicated radio show. So, that's pretty much what it is. Ice Mike, show me love again. I appreciate that, Ice Mike. He said, don't forget all of Jim's scandals. If Andre Ward just had one scandal, HBO wouldn't have let him near a microphone. No doubt about it. Excellent point, man. Excellent point from Ice Mike. Another one of my DBN lieutenants, my man Myron Dennert. I appreciate the love, showing that love, donating in the comment section, the super chat section. He said Oscar De La Hoya and Jim Lampley sending their resumes in to Al Heyman for a job. You know what? Let me just say something else about what you just said right there. I mean, it's really amazing when I say this is a feel-good story, because let's just be realistic about this. Jim Lampley is one of the most racist people in the sport of boxing. When it comes to a professional in the sport of boxing, that's why this is a feel-good story. This is no different than a police officer shooting some unarmed kid who didn't deserve it and actually going to prison for life. Justice being served. Justice is served right now. It's so funny how we've dealt with so much backlash for telling the truth. Just for telling the truth. Because it wasn't popular opinion. And I ain't going to say opinion. It wasn't popular belief to speak the truth. You know what I mean? That wasn't the popular agenda for a lot of people because it did not fit their agenda. If you were going to go with the narrative of stuff that was actually true, like Al Heyman is helping the sport, Floyd Mayweather is pound for pound the best fighter in the world, Andre Ward is pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. If you don't like black people, then you don't care what the truth is, because those fighters are not who you like for reasons that have nothing to do with boxing. So you had so many people in the sport of boxing. You had reporters like Steve Kim. I know a lot of you guys probably don't really know who he is because he's kind of irrelevant now, but back in the day, he had a website, and this guy used to be influential. He was basically a member of the old media. This guy, he went on his Twitter, and he had all these tweets talking horrible about Al Heyman and the PBC series. He even went so far as to tweet out, and I'm going to go ahead and put the clips up while I'm talking about this, but he put tweets out basically saying that, and I'm paraphrasing, but I'm going to put the clips up of exactly what he said. He was saying stuff like PBC and Al Heyman, or the PBC series, they sent me an email. I put that straight in my spam. Like basically saying that they were reaching out to him to ask him to cover their events, and he rejected it, right? And he would just tweet all type of stuff on his Twitter, talking so bad about, PBC series and Al Heyman. And now guess what? Fast forward to present day, and I'm getting calls saying this guy is actually covering PBC fights. You talked all that stuff, and now you're calling the fights. See, this is why when it comes to new media, you can't go back when it comes to nothing I ever said and say, oh man, see, you flip-flopping. You said something back then that was the complete opposite of what you're saying now. You can never say that about me, because it's easier to remember the truth than to remember a lie or something you just saying based on emotion. And that's pretty much what that is, man. So once again, I'll put them clips up so you guys can see that. But that's pretty much what it is, guys. Once again, I know it's late, Kirk, so we're gonna wrap this up in about 20 minutes. But let's take a couple more calls and get up out of here. We got 443. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Dante and Curtis? It's Tom from Baltimore, man. How y'all doing tonight?
Good, family. Good. What's up with you, man?
Nothing much, man. It's been a crazy day for boxing, man.
Crazy
with
day.
Billy Joe Saunders and HBO. Wow, crazy. And then Victor Ortiz a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah,
Crazy.
getting arrested. I ain't even had time to make a video on that. Getting arrested for sexual assault. Yeah, man. It's been a crazy week. It's been a crazy
week.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but I'm glad you touched on the HBO. Back to the HBO subject. I was just about to say that as soon as if I got through, because you said Top Rank, and I 100% agree with you. I thought Floyd Mayweather, he put HBO on life support when he left, and then Al Heyman took over with Showtime and the PBC. But once Bob Arum left, that was it. Because once they lost Terrence Crawford and Vasyl Lomachenko, they ain't had nobody else that they could even put on the network to promote. They had nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that really, that was the end for him. That was the end. To be honest, I grew up watching HBO just like everybody else when it comes to boxing, but it was getting outrageous with their commentary. And only thing I can say is good riddance for it.
And,
that's it.
And you bring up another point. Good stuff, man. You just made me think about the fact, like you said, we all grew up. We all grew up listening to Jim Lampley, and there used to be a time, a caller called before where he said, we got to stop giving Max a pass, because he's biased, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, which is true. Mm-hmm. But the funny thing is, Max Kellerman, when he was with ESPN, he used to be on some speak the truth type stuff. He used to go against the grain. He used to go against the decaf belief. But once he started sitting next to grand wizards like Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant, once again, you hang around zombies, eventually you're going to get bit. It's contagious. And that's what happened with Max. Yep. The same thing happened with Jim Lampley. You go back about 10, 15 years ago, Jim used to call stuff straight down the line. He used to be very non-biased, but once again, he started hanging around with Larry Merchant. He started listening to him, and he ended up becoming worse than Larry Merchant. Than Larry Merchant. It's sad with Jim Lampley because he had the potential to be a great asset to the sport of boxing if he would have just been straight down the line and he wouldn't have been a racist. He wouldn't have been biased. If he would have just been giving fighters the credit he deserved, he could have really been a latter-day Howard Cosell, if you will, But once again, he allowed his personal emotions, his disdain against black fighters to get in the way, and that clouded his vision, and he has a lot to do with why HBO boxing no longer exists. It has a lot to do with that man right there. So, yeah, man.
And you know what? I really think that he started to show his true colors when, I know you remember this, because you might post a video about this, when he was talking about Kirkland. Remember that? When he used to go ghetto on him?
Yeah.
That's when I started to...
And you know what? And now I'm thinking back, I just feel like maybe he was just thinking about this, like, yeah, I'm going to say it, guys. Like he was talking to his friends on the phone. I'm going to drop it, man. I'm dropping it this Saturday, guys. Here it goes. Let's see how they take it. Let's see if anybody notices it. You know what I mean? You could kind of tell. I don't know, man. You could just tell that was one of them written little statements that he had. He was thinking about saying it. Once again, think about the.
I don't know if you guys remember when Marco Antonio Barrera fought Prince Nassim Ahmed.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I remember
Marco
that.
was giving him that word.
Yeah.
And then Lampley said, take that, outlaw. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I mean, dog, Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Larry Merchant called somebody a hip-hop fighter at a point in time. I don't remember who it was.
Well, Zab Judah, when Floyd Mayweather and Zab Judah fought, he was talking about, the hip hop atmosphere or something like that, the hip hop influences. And then he said something like he associated them with the IRS some kind of way. He said something like that. He was like, the IRS is looking right now. He said something like that. So he was always trying to throw those little indirect, racist little comments that he was making. But the funny thing, going back to the Go Ghetto, this is once again what I mean when I say the double standards, the racial double standards was so blatant with Jim Lampley. As the years progressed, he got more and more confident with, his racial, thoughts about black people. Because think about this. Now, according to Jim Lampley, he likes aggressive fighters, right? He puts fighters on the Gennady list, and that's what he praises. Whenever you talk to one of these racist type decafs, they'll always try to defend Jim Lampley. Oh no, he just likes aggressive fighters, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, why is it when Kirkland was fighting against Carlos Molina in that fight, Carlos Molina had a very, very unpleasing, ugly style. Moving around, grabbing you. It was a real ugly style. Why is it Jim Lampley was praising Carlos the whole night, talking about how he's boxing circles around him? And when it's a non-black fighter who's aggressive, he's talking about how exciting he is and how exhilarating he is and all this stuff, the Gennady list, pound for pound Gennady list champ, all that. But when it's a black fighter that's aggressive, look at him. He's going to have to go ghetto. Now, all of a sudden, you're trying to make it a bad thing. Now being aggressive is not as glamorous as it was when it was a fighter on the Hope list using that style. You see what I'm saying? Right. Once again, it's too easy to shut this dude down, man. It's too easy to shut this down. And by the way, I see a couple racist cats that start posting comments in the comment section. Once again, man, racist, y'all can call in too. We not gonna, it ain't gonna be no shouting contest. What we do is professional over here. I would love the racists to call in and the regular decafs, the racist decafs, the regular just racists, call in, man. It's a dude named Tiendez. Yadai Tiendez, some racist in the comment section. Hey, man, call in. Call in, man. Call in and tell me what you disagree with, okay? Tell me what you disagree with. Let's have a conversation. Unless you agree with everything I'm saying and you just got a problem with the truth, But once again, man, we here to help y'all. We here to help y'all. We'll educate y'all for free. That's what it is, man. So, yeah. Well, what was you going to say, Kirk?
How much I want to bet Jim Lampley's crying right now?
You said how much? He's what? Crying?
How much you want to bet he's crying right now?
That he's crying right now. Oh, man. I'm sure, man. His bed is soaking wet right now. Hopefully he don't electrocute himself. But yeah, man, I'm sure he's crying, man. I already know. I mean, there was an interview. Looking back in hindsight, there was an interview where a reporter had asked him, what is the state of HBO boxing right now? And it's funny because now looking back in hindsight, he said, hey, well, we have Canelo versus Golovkin. That is the biggest fight in boxing. And then he said, and then we have Munguia coming up, and he's going to be a star. And then he just left it at that, and he kept repeating himself, going back to Canelo Golovkin. But when he said this, he sounded choked up. Like he had already got the memo that this was going to be HBO's last hurrah, 2018. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy how, once again, we dealt with all of this hate for speaking the truth. But everything we've been saying has been coming to fruition. When HBO tried to push the narrative that Chocolatito Gonzalez was pound for pound the best fighter in the world before anyone even knew who he was, they was already pushing that on the public. He's the best in the world. Then all of a sudden, a year later, ESPN is saying he's top 25, one of the greatest fighters of all time in the last 25 years. Over all type of fighters, over fighters like Terrence Crawford, over fighters like Errol Spence, if you will, over fighters like just tons of fighters. They had him on that list and didn't have these black fighters on the list. This is what ESPN did. Look how Chocolatito's career ends. The fight, when they try to say, it's funny, Kirk, because when they try to say the fighters that we actually praise, we're being biased. How can we be biased for praising Andre Ward, Floyd Mayweather, when they retired pound for pound the best? They retired on top. They were pound for pound the best, didn't even lose. How is that possible that we get called biased for that, but yet when we criticize Chocolatito Gonzalez and his career ends abruptly, right? And now people have already thrown him under the bus and no one is even praising him anymore because they already jumped to another boat now. You know what I'm saying? They've already jumped ship. They're already looking for another host because these decafs are like parasites. All they do is jump from host to host, basically. This is what they do.
And to add to that, And to add to that, what's the biggest criticism they'll say of Andre Ward or Floyd Mayweather? They'll say they never fought anybody. They cherry pick.
He's feather fisted.
When you bring up the same situation, when you bring up the same situation to Gennady Golovkin or Roman Gonzalez, they can't even name 5 legitimate fighters each guy has fought.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So once again, let me go ahead and say this, man, and I'm gonna tell you right now, we're gonna make a separate video about this, man. There's no doubt about it. Who would you say? Matter of fact, I'll start off asking you. You tell me what you think. Who would you say is the most overrated boxer of this generation when it comes to media overrating them? Because people have to understand, I know the word overrated is thrown out casually all the time, but you guys have to know the meaning. You know, you have to understand what the actual definition and meaning of overrated is. That is someone overrating you more than you deserve to be rated. So Kirk, who would you say, and in the comment section, who would you say is the most overrated fighter of this generation, Kirk?
Oh, that's easy. And we didn't get together prior to the show to discuss this. But my pick is Gennady Golovkin.
You see how, like you just said, you see how, like you said, we didn't even talk about this. I didn't even know you was going to make it to the show tonight because I was doing a late show. I just threw that out right now. And we can go back and forth, but let me, and everybody in the comment section is saying Triple G. A couple people saying AJ. Some people saying Triple G and Chocolatito. Some people saying Lomachenko. I wouldn't call Lomachenko overrated. But let me go ahead and explain why Gennady Golovkin is the most overrated fighter. And then you could chime in, of course, Kirk. And then we'll take another call, guys, because I appreciate you guys calling in. But Golovkin is the most overrated fighter because the media and the fans, they overrated him the highest when he didn't deserve it. Does that make sense logically? Because ESPN, they rated Gennady Golovkin top 2, the greatest middleweight in the last 25 years, over fighters like Roy Jones Jr., Kelly Pavlik, Jermaine Taylor, James Toney, etc. They rated him over them. They also rated him as top 25, the greatest fighter in the last 25 years. So if you think about it, what other fighter, like Kirk just said, is really not even close. I mean, maybe second place you would get Chocolatito. Why would Chocolatito get second place? Because ESPN, they rated him as top 25, one of the greatest fighters in the last 25 years, right? So once again, when you're looking at what the definition of overrated is, there's no doubt about it. The answer is Gennady Golovkin by a landslide. It's not even close because once again, the fans, they rated him higher than Roy Jones, higher than this guy. Now, by way of contrast, because of course, you know, if some racist or some decaf want to just say, oh no, Floyd Mayweather is, et cetera. You guys have to understand, Floyd Mayweather, he beat pound for pound champions. Floyd Mayweather, and this win that Canelo just got over Golovkin, it makes Gennady Golovkin look way worse, and it looks Floyd Mayweather look even that much better. Because think about this for a second. Matter of fact, that racist guy, Tiendez, the racist guy who in the comment section, he was saying, it's Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is the most overrated. So how can Floyd Mayweather be more overrated than Gennady Golovkin when Floyd Mayweather actually beat the same Canelo that gave Golovkin all the hell in the world? But the funny thing is, by way of contrast, Floyd Mayweather moved up 5 weight classes. He was close to 40 years old, and he was fighting a 23-year-old Canelo that was 15 to 20 pounds bigger than him. And Floyd Mayweather walked him down and beat him decisively. By way of contrast, Gennady Golovkin, who was supposed to be this huge monster at 160, was getting backed up by the much smaller Canelo Alvarez. How is this possible, guys? That is the true definition of overrated. Can you imagine if Floyd Mayweather had the power of a Gennady Golovkin and the natural size advantage that Golovkin had over Canelo? Can you imagine what Floyd would have done to Canelo? You know what I'm saying? Floyd would have knocked out Canelo. It wouldn't have even went 6 rounds because Floyd is too accurate with his punches. You know what I'm saying? So, man, it's just so hands down, man. It's been voted by the fans as well. But we don't need a vote though. Once again, can you think of any other fighter that has been rated as high as Golovkin has been rated by fans, and the fighter didn't deserve to be rated that high? You have to understand, even people. Go ahead, Kirk. Real quick, even people that don't like Floyd Mayweather, ESPN, they can't stand Floyd Mayweather, but even they had him rated as number 1 pound for pound, the best fighter of this generation. Go ahead, Kirk.
And I'll ask these people, looking at Golovkin's career, he has what, 40 fights? He's been a professional for 12 years or so.
Uh-huh.
So can you name legitimate guys that he beat? Can you name 3?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why is it that he spent his entire professional career at middleweight and did not unify the division?
Yeah.
Terrence Crawford was 2 years in at 140 and unified.
Of course.
So if you're not unifying the division, if you're not fighting recognizable names, if there's a lack of talent in your division, what have all the other great fighters in history done? What has Oscar De La Hoya, Sugar Ray Leonard, Floyd Mayweather, the list goes on, Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao, what have they done? Roberto Duran. They moved up in weight and sought greater challenges to prove and establish their greatness.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't Golovkin do that?
Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he challenge himself? Once again, you know, and he contradicted himself so much, man. Golovkin has been selling the public for the longest. He's been telling us, his main goal, according to him, was to unify all of the belts. And then soon as someone emerges in your division that you feel you may not be able to beat, now you completely abandon what your main goal was supposed to be, which is unifying the belts. Now Abel Sanchez is telling the fans it's no longer our priority to unify the belts. We just want to stay active. Active? That's like something a journeyman says or something. You know what I mean? Where it doesn't care who I get in the ring with. I just want to get a paycheck. You know, it don't matter who I'm fighting. You know, so once again, man, that was the only goal he was supposed to have, and he didn't even fulfill that goal. You know what I'm saying? And once again, the fact that you had Andre Ward that was there, we know for a fact, if the roles were reversed, right? And let's say Floyd didn't move up 5 weight classes, and he was a natural lightweight, right? And Golovkin was at 140, and Floyd is at 140. Floyd is at 135, right? Or let's expand it a little bit. Let's say Golovkin was 2 weight classes above Floyd, right? And they were saying that Golovkin was pound for pound the best fighter in the world. Kirk, how quick do you think Floyd Mayweather would be telling the public that he wants to move up in weight and fight Gennady Golovkin?
Quicker than a New York minute.
There you go. It's obvious. And there's no doubt about it, he would have won the fight. So don't sit over here and tell me that if Floyd can move up 5 weight classes, back up Canelo Alvarez, who's 14 years younger than him, 15, 20 pounds bigger than him or heavier than him, don't tell me that Floyd Mayweather can do that and Golovkin can't move up 1 weight class and fight Andre Ward when he wanted to fight a Julio Cesar Chavez at the same division who was even bigger than Andre Ward. It's too easy, man. This is too easy to shut down decafs because we're speaking the truth. We're speaking the truth, man. New media is here, y'all. New media is here. And I'll tell y'all, man, 3 years ago, there was no new media, and you guys didn't get the truth. We got the same generic-ass old media talking points. These black fighters are boring. We don't want to watch them fight. And we want to see the Gennady list. And we want to see Golovkin. We want to see Manny Pacquiao, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Manny Pacquiao gets knocked out. Kovalev gets knocked out. Golovkin loses, who was supposed to be HBO's baby. He loses. Karma, man. Karma. Al Heyman is the cancer of the sport. Meanwhile, HBO goes out of business. And Al Heyman just signs another multi-billion-dollar deal, you know what I'm saying, with Fox TV. You understand? So yeah, man, don't give me that. Decafs, call in, man. Decafs, why y'all leaving me hanging? Y'all love filling up the comment section, but when we get that one-on-one action, y'all don't call in, man. Y'all don't call in. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and go back to the phone lines. Let's go ahead and take another call. All right, we got 347. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Yo, Kevin from New York City, bro. What's going on?
What's going on, Kevin? What's on your mind, man?
Yo, I got a lot to say, so I'm gonna try to pack it in all at once.
Go ahead.
I'm a decaf warrior fighter. I had Dan Rafael block me because I called him out because he doesn't go out to cover black fighters in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I remember he blocked me. He blocked me off Twitter off of that. I wanted to say that one of the most overrated fighters that HBO had and that got blown up was Nonito Donaire when he was supposed to be the next Manny Pacquiao.
Excellent point.
He got blown up. Another point I wanted to make real quick. They didn't want my boy. Damn, I don't know why his name is slipping my mind. Like, I've been on hold for so long. So yeah, that's another thing. Nonito Donaire got his ass beat, and he was supposed to be the next cash cow for HBO.
Hey man,
Jim
that's
Lampley,
and not. I'm gonna
go ahead.
let you keep talking, but I just want to reiterate. That's a great point bringing up Nonito Donaire. Just to add on to what you just said. Yeah, you're right. They did the same thing with Nonito Donaire. They tried to build him up, like you just said, as the next Manny Pacquiao. That was the dream that they had. That's why it was Jim Lampley that pushed that narrative out and had all the other people follow, regurgitate his talking point. Soon as Nonito Donaire knocked out Fernando Montiel, I never forget it. Jim Lampley said right then and there, he said, now he's number one. He said, now he's number 2 pound for pound or number 3 pound for pound, right behind Manny Pacquiao. I remember he said that, and everyone ran with it. You know, he knocked him out, and then after that, he had all these subpar performances against mediocre competition, and it was funny because when they tried to protect him from Guillermo Rigondeaux, because I remember when Rigo kept calling him out for 2 years. I remember Larry Merchant even one time said while Donaire was fighting, he said, no one wants to watch that fight. We don't want to see that fight. He got upset when Rigo's name was even mentioned. And meanwhile, Bob Arum was telling the public in interviews way before that fight happened, because I guess he was going through a little beef with his fighter Donaire, and he just came out and started speaking some truth. And he said, look, man, we know that Nonito Donaire is not going to beat the Guillermo Rigos or in this fighter and that fighter. At least he ain't going to beat them all. He said that. And exactly what he said happened. So when Donaire lost to Rigo, guess what? HBO, after Rigo beat Nonito Donaire, HBO, they were still actually promoting Donaire like he was the star, because they had him in the HBO highlights. You know, this nice little highlight reel that they put together. They had Donaire in the highlights. They didn't have Guillermo Rigo in the highlights. And this was after Rigo beat him. They were promoting the return of Nonito Donaire's fight like he was Manny Pacquiao, but they weren't really promoting Rigo's return at all. So yeah, man, go ahead, man. I just had to throw that in while you're talking, man. You want to throw?
Yeah, they've had this racist outlook for a very long time. When Larry Merchant started arguing with B-Hop in the ring,
yeah,
he was facing Amanda. You remember that? He was fighting Amanda.
Yeah, McCarr.
Things like that.
Things
like that are what really ruined it. The pound for pound list. Listen to me. I'm Nicaraguan, bro. So when they put Chocolatito as number 1, it was insulting to me as a boxing fan. Not about my country, as a boxing fan.
Wow.
I didn't understand how they put him over Terrence Crawford. Then Andre Ward got to sit up in there and argue and pretty much beg to be on the pound for pound list. Like it was horrible. And I'm glad they're out of business, and I'm glad Larry Merchant is alive to see that company finally go down.
Yeah, hey, man. Great points, man. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hey, thanks for calling in. All right, man. Take care, man.
All right, bro.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. We got some educated fans, some educated boxing fans calling in right now. And like I said, Kirk, if Jim Lampley, he had the potential to really, really catapult his career and be looked at as a legend in the sport of boxing when it comes to blow-by-blow commentary. But once again, he could not stop his personal feelings, emotions from getting in the way. and that was his demise. He has no one to blame but himself. You know, you done took down Max Kellerman, Roy Jones, Harold Letterman, and everybody. He is to blame for sinking that ship. And HBO, they are some damn fools for allowing him to do it, because they should have set right. Listen, when Larry Merchant disrespected Floyd Mayweather like that in the ring, that's when HBO, they should have took the Starbucks approach, where they said, you know what, we about to shut down all the Starbucks and we about to bring everybody in and have a meeting and let people know that we do not stand for racism. We don't stand for this type of ignorance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If y'all ain't gonna do the right thing, we gonna let you go. That's what HBO should have did when Larry Merchant, when he disrespected Floyd Mayweather, when he disrespected Bernard Hopkins, when he had the nerve to tell Bernard Hopkins, well, maybe we're gonna do something about that. You know, trying to talk about his performance against his mandatory and how it was so horrible and this and this and that. You are not the sport of boxing. You're just an interviewer. You're just a commentator, right? And not even a commentator. You're supposed to be asking questions at that point. Your opinion doesn't really matter unless the fighter asks you a question. You know, but for you to go out there and start disrespecting this man, when once again, it was a mandatory. And what makes it even worse in that fight, Kirk, is McCarr was the one that was quote unquote running. Usually they blame the fighter when the fighter is black. We already know they're blaming the black fighter. They're calling him gay runner. They're calling him this and this and this. This is what they call Floyd, right? This is what they call a black fighter when he's moving around in the ring. But when the black fighter is the aggressor and the non-black fighter is moving around the ring, they go after the aggressor because he's on a coincidental list, right? Once again, Bernard Hopkins, they go after him. He's chasing around a guy that's moving in the ring. Jim Lampley is clowning James Kirkland, the aggressor, who's chasing a guy who's moving around in the ring. That's why we call it the coincidental list, because it ain't a coincidence that this is how they treat these people. Go ahead, Kirk.
And time again, not only have they disrespected the fighters, but they disrespected the actual, whether it's fighter or trainer that they did side-by-side commentary with.
Yeah.
How many times have we heard them get into it with Lennox Lewis?
You sound a little muffled. You sound a little muffled. You sound a little muffled, Kirk. You sound a little muffled. But go ahead.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Okay. How many times have you heard them get into it with Roy Jones, Andre Ward, Emmanuel Stewart, rest in peace? Mm-hmm. Everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you going to argue with an expert?
Yeah, an expert who's been training for. Matter of fact, speaking of Emmanuel Stewart, I remember one time when Emmanuel Stewart, he was calling the Tim Bradley fight. And once again, this is what I mean when I said Jim was taking it so personal. It wasn't even about calling boxing. He was a fan. He was a fan watching the fight and just happened to have a great seat. And I remember Emmanuel Stewart. No, actually, I think it was Max. Because Jim got into it with both of them, but I'm trying to remember the exchanges. But I believe Max Kellerman said he thought that Tim Bradley may have won that round. And Jim Lampley said, how so? And Max Kellerman had to explain himself, and then Emmanuel Stewart had said something. Jim Lampley, he jumped on him, and Emmanuel Stewart, you could kind of tell they kind of felt uncomfortable because basically it was like Jim Lampley, you know, he's forcing his opinion on these guys. And you can tell this is once again what happened. This is the reason why a lot of times, I don't know if people notice this, but a lot of times Emmanuel Stewart, he wouldn't speak freely unless someone else would say it. Then it was almost like he felt like, okay, I'm allowed to say this. So then he would, you know, add on to their point and he would say this. A lot of times that would happen because they were so afraid almost that Jim Lampley or even Larry Merchant, they were going to, you know, shoot them down or shoot that point down or want to start a debate during the broadcast. You know, so yeah, man, rest in peace, Emmanuel Stewart. But like I said, man, this is just unbelievable justice. This is justice at the highest level. I mean, so many people talked about watching HBO fights without listening to the commentary. And now we no longer have to listen to HBO commentary. They are out of the business completely, and it was their own doing. HBO, once again, they should have did the right thing. They should have said, you know what? We got this guy representing our brand. We got to stop this. We got to put a stop to how they're treating these black fighters. But they didn't care. And they let HBO, they let Jim Lampley, Larry Merchant, and the gang drive their ass to the ground. That's what happened. So, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I'll take one more call, man, and we'll go ahead and close out, wrap it up. We got 323. I think I know who this is. What's going on, Reggie?
Man, what's happening, Dante? What's happening, Kurt?
What's up with your family?
Today's one of the greatest. Man, what's happening? Today's one of the greatest days in boxing history, man.
No doubt about it.
They got rid of this fascist.
Yeah, no.
They got rid of the fascist Mussolini acting Lampley, man.
Fascist. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Got rid of his ass.
Yeah,
man.
And
these black fighters ought to be celebrating it. This is a great day for black fighters. For any American fighter, this is a great day. The only other thing that needs to happen is ESPN needs to go ahead and give Dan Ray for the pink slip as well.
Mm-hmm.
He's another toxic individual in this industry.
Okay. Hey, they said Caesar. They said Caesar Meja. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. Caesar Meja or Mejia. Caesar Mejia wants to call up. Okay, Caesar, go ahead and put your area code in the comment section, man. Put your area code in the comment section, man, if you want to call in. We'll go ahead and throw you right in, man. We looking forward to it. Okay, he said, LOL. What's up, Dante? That was his response. Hey, you want to call in or you just want to say what's up? I appreciate you tuning in, though, man. I appreciate it. It's all love, and it's just boxing talk. I haven't even been following the conversation. I'm just getting jumped here, bro. Okay, call in. I'll help you out, man. Matter of fact, yeah, just call in, man. Call in. Talk to me directly. And don't be afraid, man. And see, this is what I want you guys to understand, man. If you truly believe what you're saying, you shouldn't be afraid to call in. Because, if you knew that 2 + 2 was 4, and you heard a bunch of dudes on a show saying, no, it's 15, and everyone knows it, wouldn't you call in with confidence and I'm about to prove to them, I'm about to use all type of examples and everything that the answer is 4, right? So the point is, if you feel that what you're saying is the actual truth, and what I'm saying is completely false and is far-fetched, you should be able to call in with the quickness. But you ain't gonna do that because deep down we speaking the truth. DBN, y'all. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. They don't want that smoke because that truth is like kryptonite to their ass. It's like garlic and holy water to vampires. They try to stay away from it. They don't want the light. They want to stay in the dark. We gonna bring your ass to the light. You come over here. Go on and call in. Hey, Caesar Mejia. Call in, man. Call in. I want to get this in. Yeah, man. Anyway.
And they got to, man. Boxing is a man's sport. You can't sit in the comments and be on some old pussyfoot and stuff. Like, boxing is a man's sport. If you're a true fan of boxing with boxing talk, get on here and talk.
Yeah, of course. I mean, once
the man's sport.
Listen, if you had to take a lie detector test and you ain't got nothing to hide, you're not gonna be afraid to take the test. If your job, selects you for a random drug test and you clean as a whistle, you're not gonna be afraid to take the test. So once again, if you speaking the truth and that over here we lying and you have an opportunity, you have the biggest platform, one of the biggest platforms to call up Dante's Boxing Nation, have all your friends tune in and hey y'all, hey, you guys get ready. Y'all watch the show because I'm going to tell this bastard Dante the truth. I'm going to tell him what I really think about him and I'm going to tell him everything he said is a lie. You have that opportunity and you going to pass it up? Only reason you would pass it up is because deep down that bastard Dante is speaking the damn truth. I just hate that he speak the damn truth because I can't stand none of the damn people he speak the truth about. Or I can't stand when he's speaking the truth about a fighter that I like and I got to deal with it. Call in, y'all. Call in, man. That's what it is, man.
They gotta call in, man.
Yeah, man.
Boy Lampley got fired. Y'all gotta call in.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man. Hey, at least call in and tell me what you think about your boy getting fired. Hey, let's take another call, man. Let's take another call. Okay, we got 413. I think I actually know who this is, but let's go ahead and see who it is. This is 413. What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, it's Michael from Massachusetts. What's going on, Dante?
What's going on? Okay, no, this is not the same guy.
Yo.
What's going on, family? What's on your mind?
How do you feel about Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence? I think people are giving Errol Spence a little bit too much credit, in my opinion, but I want to hear your opinion on it.
I think that Mikey Garcia will actually do better than Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and probably any other welterweight in the welterweight division. He may even do better than Kell Brook. I think Mikey Garcia is going to be a tough fight. I mean, I'm still leaning towards Errol Spence, but I just think that that's going to be the toughest fight for Mikey. I think that Mikey is going to be able to carry his power to the welterweight division, because I've been at Mikey Garcia's camp, and I done heard middleweights tell me they sparred with him, and he's the hardest puncher they done faced. You know what I mean? At the middleweight division, we already know he cracked Maidana's ribs. He's extremely accurate, so I see that as a real fight. And it's going to be a competitive fight. I don't think that people are really overrating Errol Spence. I just think it is an uphill battle, to go up against, a boogeyman like Errol Spence. There's a reason why a very intelligent Keith Thurman would stay away from Errol Spence. Keith Thurman is intelligent, man.
Yeah, but that's the problem, though.
What's up?
That's
What do you
the
mean?
problem, that they're being careful.
Uh-huh.
It's like, you want to be the best, you gotta beat the best.
Absolutely.
So why these guys being all strategic and all scared and all this shit?
Absolutely.
So honestly, though, I was surprised when Errol Spence got in the ring and called out Sean Porter, because Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, they say, we'll fight. So Mikey Garcia, we call him out after the Easter fight, right? Inside the ring?
Yeah, he called him out. Well, he had been doing it for actually over about a year, but yeah, he just said it. He made it more official when he called him out after that fight on the microphone while Errol was actually in the crowd.
I'm surprised, So I'm surprised that he got in Errol Spence got in the ring with Porter and called him out. I'm like, what the fuck? So I mean, hey, it is what it is, though. But
oh no, but see, the thing is, Errol Spence, that fight is already happening next though, because obviously, if Errol Spence, he's been wanting, to unify the belts. He's been wanting to fight the welterweight fighters. They've been avoiding him. That's why Mikey Garcia was such a great option if they weren't going to fight him. But, when Sean Porter and Danny Garcia both, all of a sudden, they say after Mikey says, I want to fight Errol, now all of a sudden, Sean Porter and Danny Garcia, they say, we're going to fight Errol Spence next. So it makes sense for Errol to jump in the ring and say, let's fight. I'm calling you out just like you called out Danny Garcia. And then once Sean Porter went to the press room, he said, I don't know if that fight is going to be next. And then Errol Spence said, most likely I'm going to fight Mikey Garcia next, because Sean Porter most likely, ain't going to be ready till next year. So, I mean, me personally, I want to see both fights. Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence is a huge fight. And realistically, it'll probably be promoted as a pay-per-view fight. I mean, I would rather see it on free TV, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's on pay-per-view. So that's how I see it, man. Yep.
But deep down, I don't think Sean Porter honestly wants Errol Spence.
No, he don't. I don't believe. No, I don't think he wants to fight. I mean, because you cannot say in the ring, you cannot say this is the easiest fight that can be made, and then go in the press conference room and tell people because of business, if the fight don't happen, it won't be my fault. It won't be. You completely contradicting yourself. You can't say it's the easiest fight to be made and then go in the press room and say it's going to be a difficult fight to make. We got to see if we're going to get what we want and all that kind of stuff. So, it's clear to me that Sean Porter, he doesn't want the Errol Spence fight. There's no way you're going to automatically assume that the fight can't be made. He didn't automatically assume that a Danny Garcia fight couldn't be made. And if he did, he made it clear he wanted the fight, and he was making it sound like Danny didn't want the fight. But he's not doing that. Yeah. He's not that eager as he was to fight Danny. He's jumping in the ring to fight Danny. He ain't jumping in the ring to fight Errol Spence. He ain't never showed up at Errol Spence fight and jumped up in the ring. So clearly he's not, eager. Let's just say it's obvious he's not eager to get in the ring. That's what it is, man.
But no, I think he changed. I think he cleared that in that Blue Blood interview that came out yesterday. He kind of that whole argument up, and he seems.
I think
like he's ready to go.
I actually listened to the beginning of that interview with Blue Blood. At least from what I heard, it could be possible because I seen the title. I seen Blue Blood's title where it said Sean Porter says that Errol Spence is next. Once again, man.
It was a good interview.
Yeah. So
that's what he says.
Yeah. So
what he says and does is different.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you this right now. The pressure that the fans, new media is gonna put on fighters in general is gonna be very, very hard to justify not fighting Sean Porter, not fighting against Errol Spence, Anthony Joshua not fighting against Deontay Wilder. It's going to be very difficult to justify this kind of stuff because the pressure, is there. And the stuff that we're saying, is resonating, so that's pretty much what it is, man. So let's see. Listen, man, I hope the pressure gets to Sean Porter and I hope we do get that fight next. Yeah. But me personally, I would rather see Errol Spence, Mikey Garcia, and then see Errol Spence versus Sean Porter, so that's what I would too. Yeah, that's what I want. I want 2 for the price of 1. You know what I mean? Or I guess in that case it would be 2 for the price of 2 because they might both.
Dante,
what's
that fight, Mikey Garcia versus Errol Spence, it could have happened this year. I think Mikey and Errol were talking about it, and then they said, I think was it Showtime or something was they're gonna have Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
I guess they kind of messed it up.
Yeah, they're gonna.
They don't want to pay for it, right?
Yeah, I think worst case scenario, one of those fights are gonna get pushed to January, and maybe Spence Garcia gets pushed to January. But once again, both fighters are agreeing to the fight. You don't hear Mikey saying the stuff that Sean Porter said in the press room. Mikey's not saying, the fight. If the fight don't happen, it's not my fault. It's not, Errol's fault, and you guys have to look at the business. You don't hear Mikey saying, I got to see what the WBC wants to do and this and that. He's saying, I want this fight against his family's wishes, against the promoter's wishes. He wants to fight. So you look at the contrast. If Mikey Garcia can do that, there should be no reason for us to ever hear Sean Porter doubt the fight even happening. So yeah, man, that's what it is.
I think Sean Porter's truly scared though.
Well, I mean,
it's my opinion, but
well, he's worried about losing. No doubt. I mean, no matter how we word it, no matter how we phrase it, yeah, he understands that that's a fight he will most likely lose. He knows how good he is. I mean, once again, this is not opinion we said. All we have to do is just stack the facts right there in front of people to see. You look at the fact that he called out Danny Garcia. He's never called out Errol Spence. Once again, you look at how he's changing what he's saying. And now, like Kirk just said just recently, he did an interview. Shout out to my man, Blue Blood Sports TV. He did an interview. And in that interview, he alluded to saying that Errol Spence would be next. But didn't he say, because what I listened to, you cleared up since you listened to the whole interview, but didn't he say, he said at the beginning of that interview that it could possibly happen in next year. And he said if it happens he said something like if it happens in April, if it happens in March or June. Didn't he say something like that, Kirk?
I'm not even too sure, but I know I've seen Mikey Garcia in the gym right now, and it looks like he's training to add on some muscle, some weight. So I'm thinking that the fight between Garcia and Spence takes place in the beginning of the year. And like you guys have mentioned, I'm hoping he fights Sean Porter after that. And then I'm really hopeful by that time, Keith Thurman will work his way back to getting a few tune-ups. And maybe we see Spence and Thurman at the end of the year if Spence is able to beat Garcia and Sean Porter.
Absolutely, Kirk, because if Errol Spence were to, and let me go ahead and say, let me go ahead and get to another call. Hey, man, but thanks for calling in. I appreciate you. All right, man, I'm going to get to another one, all right?
All right, man.
All right, take care.
And Dante, real quick,
Go ahead,
real
Reggie.
quick, Dante.
Go ahead.
In that interview with Sean was he spoke hot. What he spoke the point to was about him not taking the Keith Thurman fight, because he was saying that Keith Thurman doesn't deserve to step back in contention, and then he will get no credit being that he beat a guy who wasn't up to his peak form. So he was saying that Keith has to take lesser fights before he takes a fight with him, and that his only big money fight, and he's looking at big fights, will be with Errol Spence. That's the only fight that makes sense in boxing. And they were also trying to throw out about Vargas being a mandatory, which he said he sidestepped. He said he sidestepped.
And once again, I mean, I'll believe it when once like I said, most likely Errol Spence will fight Mikey Garcia next. So yeah, I mean, well, I've never doubted, and let me just make that clear. I've never doubted that they may fight sometime in 2019 or they may fight sometime in 2020. My point was, he's not going to fight him next. That was the point that I was making. You know what I mean? So, but once again, it's a good look as far as I'm concerned for Errol Spence if he fights Mikey Garcia. If he beats Mikey Garcia, all that does is reinforce his brand. That makes his brand bigger, and that makes Errol Spence versus Sean Porter or Errol Spence versus anybody, Keith Thurman, that makes the fights even bigger. As far as I'm concerned, not saying that Mikey Garcia is as big as this man, but he's starting to remind me of somewhat of a modern day Oscar De La Hoya right now. You know, in terms of his talent and, you know, him being a good fighter, because Oscar was a good fighter. That's who Mikey is starting to remind me of. And that fight, Errol Spence versus Mikey Garcia, would be a big, big fight. So, yeah, that's
why it's happening. Like people have to also, I've heard a few things from Mikey's people that it sounds like he's getting ready to retire in a few fights.
Mikey said that?
He didn't say it per se, but from what I picked up, I think he only has a few fights left in him. I don't see him continuing to fight for 3 or 4 more years. And if he's on his way out, why not go out with a bang? Errol Spence is the biggest fight he can make right now. And honestly, whether he wins or loses, he's not going to look bad because he's fighting the boogeyman of the welterweight division. And as long as he doesn't get knocked out within a few rounds, or even if he gets knocked out, they're going to say that, well, he moved up in weight. He fought the guy everyone was afraid to fight.
And to add on,
it's really a win-win for him.
And to add on top of that, Kirk, if he loses to Errol Spence, he can go right back down to 135, and he could fight Lomachenko. And if he beats Lomachenko, his loss to Errol Spence will be like Canelo losing to Floyd Mayweather. You know, so yeah, like you said, unless he's savage, unless he gets knocked out like Terry Norris got knocked out by Julian, Williams or something like that. It is Williams. Right? His last name is Williams, right? The Hawk. It was Williams, right?
I'm right. Well, and I was going to say this too. People have to be, when you fight Errol, he just doesn't beat you. He beats the fight out of you.
Yeah,
so
he beats the fight out of you.
You got to be careful.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He may not be the same. I mean, we haven't seen Kell Brook return since the loss. We haven't really seen how he's going to look. What's his name? Algieri. Did Algieri come back after the Did he come back after the Errol Spence fight? I don't know if his fights.
I don't know. He went into training. Yeah, I think Algieri went into training.
Yeah, he went into training.
Not on television.
We ain't
seen Lamont.
We haven't seen Lamont. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, he might be a career destroyer. We don't know. But so far, yeah, cats have not came back to the ring. They done changed professions damn near, so I mean, it'll be interesting to see how Kell Brook looks. I want to see how Kell Brook is going to look. Jackson, my bad. Hey, good looking out, Wowzer. What was that? Yeah, Wowzers. It was Jackson, not Williams. I'm thinking of my last name. Yeah, so
Julian Williams, that's J-Rock.
Yeah, that's J-Rock. That's J-Rock. That's why I'm like, damn, Williams, that don't sound right. But anyway, good.
Yeah, Jackson, my last name.
Yeah, good looking out, holding it down, y'all, in the comment section. I appreciate it. So yeah, man. Hey, let's take another call, man. Hey guys, so this is my last show, man, before I head back out of the country. That's why I'm doing the show Thursday. I'm headed out this Sunday, but once again, there ain't gonna be no 3-4 weeks off because I'm gonna be doing my live shows out there. You know, I'm going back to Thailand, y'all. I'm going back to Thailand, and I'm a swing over to Japan and see what Floyd Mayweather is all about out there in Tokyo. And you know what? It's funny because do you guys know, coincidentally, I didn't even know this until I came back and the homies told me. Do you know how it's so crazy, man? Small world. Do you know when I was in Thailand, Floyd Mayweather was out there the same time? Floyd Mayweather was in.
I thought y'all was gonna link up when I seen that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. But he was in Phuket. He was in Phuket. He was far away from me. But yeah, and it turns out I even found out that man, y'all really don't know how beautiful Thailand is, man. Real talk. Once again, I'm going to talk more about Thailand and every other country because I done been to a couple countries. I'm going to talk about all these countries on Dante's Travel Nation. That's dropping. I've already got the footage and everything. I just ain't put it on the channel yet. But even Floyd Mayweather's cousin, Dewan, I found out Dewan goes to Thailand on a regular. At least that's what my boy was telling me. He said, just check out his Instagram. But yeah, he goes to Thailand on a regular. So I'm telling y'all, man, Thailand is the business. You know, there's a couple other countries, but Thailand is the business. Yeah, no, my man is laughing when he said Phuket is pronounced, it's Phuket. He's trying to say, that's how it's spelled. But the Thai people, they pronounce it Phuket. They don't pronounce it Phuket. They corrected me on that a couple times when I was out there in Thailand. So anyway, that's pretty much what it is.
Them Thai mommies got you out there, man.
Oh, man. The Thai mommies, they treat you like a president. I mean, no doubt about it. They got something to do with it. You know, I mean, of course, you know, you go to a country where they treat you like a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you're going to love that. But the whole country treats you like a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest. You know, I'm just being real. And these girls will tell you, but it's an added bonus when you go in there and you black. I'm just telling you, man. You know, they love the black people. They love the hip hop influence and just everything about the black man. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody get love out there, but you know, you going over there with some extra points when you black. I'm just telling you. You know, they be loving black men out there, man. You know, I had like about 30.
World, man.
I had about that's all over the world. I had like about 30 women. You know, say to me like, oh, can you bring one of your friends? Can you bring one of your friends? I love Chocolate Man. I love Chocolate Man. You know, they say, I'm like, they over here singing all the hip hop lyrics and stuff like that. They singing words. They singing songs that I didn't even know about. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna have to download that song. That song is tight. What you say the dude name was? You know what I'm saying? They got it down packed, man. But yeah, like you said, Reggie, it's like that. It's like that almost in every country. You know, black man leave America, you find out what you're really worth. You know what I mean?
And I remember
Australia. I already know. I already know Australia.
Yeah, they told me about there, man.
Yeah, Australia, Germany, all of Europe. You know, all of Southeast Asia, Europe, all of those countries, man. All of those countries, man. Yeah, man.
I was joining the military. That's where my recruiter told me to go. He talked about you go over there blue black, you gonna get all the cat. And I was like stupid, stayed in the States. I get out to one of the cats. I go to white cat. I go to basic with. He leaves. He come back from Germany. He's like, man, why you ain't go over there? He was like, he couldn't get no action because all they wanted was this black dudes.
Yeah.
Fine ass German women.
Yeah, and I tell you a funny story. Speaking of that, it's just funny because I remember my Mexican homie long time ago. I was working in the office. Selling insurance, and I was the only black dude that worked in the office. And I remember my Mexican homie, he was telling everybody in the room, yeah, I went to Germany. And he said, oh, man, the women were so beautiful and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And all, like, the homies were asking him, they was like, why you didn't get at him? And he said in the room, I couldn't believe he said this. He said, I tried, but all they wanted to talk to was black guys. You know, and I was like, wow. And it was an awkward moment because I'm the only black dude in the room when he said this, you know. So I was like, wow, man, that's crazy, man.
That's the shit that pissed Hitler off.
Yeah. Like I said, man. And once again, I don't want nobody to get their feelings hurt. There's love for y'all, too. I'm just saying, you know, it's a little extra. It's a little extra, you know, so, you know, if you ain't black, you know, it might help you out if you curl your hair up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Put some French braids in and, you know, go over there listening to some Drake, you know, get, you know, sag a little bit with your Jordans on, you know, make it look like you mixing something, you know, Get it in, man. Get it in. Speaking of being mixed, it's a funny thing too. Is a lot of the girls out there, they were putting chemicals in their hair to make their hair look like black texture hair, and it's crazy because they really actually look mixed. You know, with the hair texture, because they already have full lips, they have a darker skin complexion. You know, the cheekbones and everything. So it really made them look mixed. But it just tripped me out the lengths they were going, you know, to get a black guy. That just tripped me out, man. That just tripped me out. But anyway, man, let's go ahead and get back into this, man. Let's get back into this. That was a whole segment on Dante's Travel Nation right there. So let's see who.
I think the sound went out.
Did the sound go out?
Okay. Oh.
Who is that? Who is that talking? Okay. Anyway, let's go ahead and take another call.
I'm still on here.
Oh, is that you, Kirk, talking?
I guess the show's over then.
Kirk, you can't hear me?
I'm watching on YouTube. It's live.
Oh, you guys can't hear me?
Oh, okay.
I guess you guys can't hear me right now. I'm talking. You guys can't hear me. Anyway, let me see what's going on here. Oh, wait. Well, let's see what happened here.
Oh, we hear you now. You back?
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me see. Okay, yeah, it should be still connected.
Yeah, it's back.
I don't know what happened. Okay, but anyway, yeah, the phone, we had some kind of problem, and all the phone calls dropped, and now they're starting to call back in. But anyway, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. Let me just see real quick.
Get some more decaf, Dante. I know somebody gonna call.
Oh man, we hoping. Oh, let me go ahead and say what's up to some more members of the DBN Super Chat section, showing that love. Hey man, I really appreciate you guys showing that love and donating to what I do, because once again, man, this is my full-time job. You know what I mean? So if you guys show that love in the comment section and you guys donate to me, I really appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and salute my man who also joined that super chat. He's a regular showing that love. My man, Nabel Khan. He says, salute DBN, another dope show. Not only were they biased, but they are responsible for turning away countless new potential boxing fans. Exactly how history should remember them. The Fox News of boxing. Excellent point, man. Well said. And let me touch on what he just said right now. It's funny how when we expose double standards, you'll hear some of these fans come out saying, oh man, you're dividing people, you're race baiting and all this kind of stuff. And it's always funny because they give the people who are actually doing that to a T, they give them a pass. Because at the end of the day, they like hearing this kind of division. They like hearing black fighters being mistreated and all that. That's why when we expose it and shine a light on it, they come out and say and beg you, hey man, can you please stop talking about that? Because then they start feeling guilty. They start feeling uncomfortable. And that's what we want to make them feel. We want to make them feel uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to be comfortable, right? So yeah, that's pretty much what it is at the end of the day. You guys still on the phone line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, man, but I think here
Hey,
I'm gonna look at the comment section and then we're gonna wrap it up. What was you gonna say?
I was gonna ask you, are you gonna be back in time for the Wilder fight?
Oh yeah, I'm flying back to cover that. Yeah, I'm flying back to cover that. So yeah, I'm still gonna be doing my thing, man. So that's gonna be huge, man. That's gonna be huge. And Anthony Joshua, man, I'm telling y'all, man, if Anthony don't fight Deontay Wilder, which it's looking like he's not going to fight him after or right now, next, because he's already talking about Dillian White, it's getting to the point where it's going to make Anthony Joshua look real bad. You guys see how things continue to turn for the worse when it comes to perception and reception. When it comes to Anthony Joshua, now fans are chanting Deontay Wilder after his fights. Now all kind of UK fighters are blaming him on, not fighting him, and they're trying to pressure him to take the fight. All of that kind of stuff, man. If Deontay Wilder knocks out Tyson Fury, it's gonna get to the point to now Deontay Wilder is no longer gonna need Joshua as much as Joshua needs him. That's what I truly believe, man. So we'll see what happens in that fight. But another
He's gonna end up having to fight Eddie Hearns.
Yeah, something, man, something. shout out to some
$50 million, bro.
Shout out to another member who joined that super chat army, man. Once again, I appreciate y'all showing that love in the chat section. And I'm gonna start a Patreon account too, where we're gonna do one show on that website a week. So that should be pretty cool as well. And y'all could once again show y'all love by watching it on that website. My man Eric Jenkins, man, shout out to Eric Jenkins showing that love. Donated. He said, DBN, keep feeding the trill. Fight fans. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, can't stop, won't stop, man. Some decaf gonna tell me, hey, you better be careful. On my HBO Jim Lampley video, he said, some decaf said, well, you better be careful or the same thing that happened at HBO is gonna happen to you with your racist views. This is what this dude said, man. Once again, man, these are the kind of cats that I want to call in. What could you possibly say that I've ever said that was congruent to anything that Jim Lampley has ever said? When have you ever seen me completely take credit away from pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world, and I said something that completely went against the grain of what all fighters or what all people were saying, at least the majority of them? And when I say all, I'm talking about professional boxers, trainers, et cetera, et cetera. You notice, guys, I say this all the time, there's always a divide. You notice there's always a divide with what the media and a lot of fans say as opposed to what professional boxers say. You guys notice that? There's always a divide. Like, for example, when it comes to the Canelo versus Golovkin fight. Why is it you had a lot of members of the media and a lot of fans, they were all saying Golovkin won the fight, right? I mean, almost none of the media members said that Canelo won the fight. Almost none of them said it. And then you had a lot of professional boxers, not saying all of them, but you had a lot of professional boxers and trainers, they were saying that they thought Canelo won the fight. Why is there that kind of divide? And the answer is simple, because professional boxers, at least the majority of them, they don't have an agenda. So when they answer the question, they just answer it without any type of agenda. They just calling it the way they see it. But when it comes to the media and fans, they have a fan-based agenda where they understand that this decision is bigger than who won. You know, this is about what Golovkin will be remembered for. So they trying to, basically put that in people's head, he really won the fight. But once again, after Floyd Mayweather walked down that big-ass, young-ass Canelo and you struggled against him, it don't matter how close, it don't matter who people thought won the fight. You wasn't supposed to struggle to him. You were supposed to, if Floyd could walk him down, you were supposed to run his ass over and then back up, run him over again. That's what he was supposed to do, but he didn't do that. He did not do that. So, yeah, man, with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. Let me see if there's anything else you guys are talking about. Once again, man, decafs, man.
Got a decaf on the line.
Got a decaf online? That's funny.
It might be. I'm hoping.
Why did you just say that? Because, I was just about to go in and say, man, once again, decafs, man, call in, man. But, I got to stop calling them decafs because that scares them even more, So once again, if you disagree with what I'm saying, and you've been telling your homies for the last couple of years that damn Dante, he don't know what he's talking about. He's biased and he's racist and he's this. And once again, man, and when these cats call you racist, that's a code word. Especially when they calling black people racist for calling out racism, that's a code word, man. That's just acceptable way to call someone a racial slur indirectly without being looked like a racist themselves. That's the only way that makes sense. Because if you're gonna call someone who's reporting racism a racist, but when you see all these racist comments in the comment section and you don't call them racist, we know what time it is. Once again, man, this is all common sense, man. It's too easy to expose these cats. It's too easy to expose these cats, man. So, yeah, if there is someone who disagrees with anything I'm saying, and once again, you've been talking to your homie saying, wait until I get to call that bastard. I'ma expose that bastard, Dante. We waiting for you. We patiently waiting for you. Call in, man. Call in. But they ain't gonna do it. And while I'm rambling on, I do want to touch on something that there was one decaf who called in a couple shows ago, and the video actually got flagged because he kept using the N-word over and over again. It was he was a Puerto Rican cat. His name was PR Def or something like that. By the way, man, since you've been watching my channel for like 2-3 years, because he was bringing up videos I made like 3 years ago, you can always call in. Obviously, he's a big fan. He's been watching that long. But let me show you, man, the distinction. This is how confused and messed up we got these cats when we speak the truth. This guy called in. His mission was to expose me, right, as a hypocrite. And he starts saying stuff like, well, didn't you say in a video a long time ago that Robert Garcia, when Robert Garcia hit Lil Wayne with that bottle, you said that was some essay stuff that he did. He's a thug. He's a gangbanger. That's some thug stuff that he did, et cetera, et cetera. And do you believe that this person is racist and that person is racist? This is the funny thing. When we expose racism, we give them side-by-side comparisons and we show what they did that was racist. When these decafs try to combat what we say, their idea of calling us biased is to bring up times when we were calling other people either biased or racist. You see what the point that I'm making? No matter how they try to use the same ammunition that we're using, it doesn't apply because we're actually speaking with facts. When Robert Garcia hit Lil Wayne with a bottle, that was some thug shit. That was some gang banging type stuff. I'll tell Robert Garcia that to his face. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing to be afraid to say to Robert Garcia, right? So once again, man, there's a difference from exposing racism and basically saying, aha, oh yeah, because something else the dude said. He said, oh, didn't you say that, when you were growing up in Long Beach, there used to be riots with black and brown at your school? And the guy was like, so that proves right there you are biased because you dealt with this and this and this and that, right? Once again, you see how idiotic these decafs sound? You're going to basically say someone is biased because they've been a victim of something, basically, right? Because they've been involved in something. Or, that's like someone saying to a Holocaust survivor, oh man, I know you hate the Jew. I know you hate the Germans. You must really hate white people. I know you're biased towards white people because you already admitted that you were in the Holocaust. You're a Holocaust survivor. So yeah, I know your secret now. Because that's what the dude was basically saying. Oh yeah, you dealt with riots and this happening and that happening. So I know, see, aha, now we know that you're biased. So yeah, man, it's too easy, man. It's too easy to expose these cats. So, but with that being said, man, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to wrap this up. Hey, Kirk, man, you got anything you want to close out with?
We have the announcement of Christina Hammer and Clarissa Shields. They got that fight.
Oh, that fight is official. That fight is official.
Yeah.
Clarissa Shields and Hammer. Oh, that's a good fight. And you know what? I'm going to make that a separate video right there, man. We're going to definitely show them some love and try to promote that fight a little bit, man. So good stuff for bringing that up, man. Here, I'm going to take one more call because I just got somebody else called in. Let me just see what we get, man. These calls are like a box of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get. So let's go ahead and see if we get some toffee caramel, because that's my favorite. Let's get it, y'all. 817, what's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man?
Yeah, Pete, this is I'm calling from Texas.
Texas in here, heavy. What's good, man? What's on your mind?
Oh man, I was calling because I see you your topic, you was kind of like dealing with racism between the other races, and I noticed something about all of the boxers. We don't really historically have a flag to bring it to the ring. You know what I mean? Because everybody bring their flags into the ring when they come into the ring, but the Africans don't have a flag to bring in the ring. I was wondering why they don't bring in one of the Pan-African flag for Marcus Garvey or something to represent the African nation or the African people. because it's obvious that we're not being accepted. Like you say, we'll go to an American fighter or go to another country, or even we come here and we don't get the same respect like how they used to do Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, I know we don't really deal with, you're looking like a lot of the boxers, Jim, they'll have up everybody else's flag but their own flag. And I just wanted to bring light that we do have a flag that we can represent for our people. You got Mexican people coming in with their flag. African people need to come in with the flag of our people. That's what I got to say.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to respond to what he said, but go ahead, Kirk. I'll let you respond first.
Oh, no, that was
Reg.
Oh, that was Reggie. Go ahead, Reg. Go ahead, Reg.
Yeah, I was thinking, man, because I always hear people about the American thing and where there's no support. The thing is, America's not only a white country, and the problem with this country is there's a lot of division. But amongst blacks, in order to correct a lot of things with our fighters being neglected, is we have to have unity amongst ourselves and start supporting our black athletes. Because we have to look at our black athletes like they're our children. A lot of our kids, especially us being black parents and stuff,
but you know what, Reggie? And let me just say this, Reggie. When you really think about it, once again, man, because if we hear, this is how you indoctrinate and program people. You keep hearing people repeat a talking point over and over. Sometimes you start believing it without kind of looking into it. Like if people start talking about black on black crime, some people will start thinking, oh yeah, right. Yeah, we do have to worry about black on black crime. But then you forget that you have the same amount of white on white crime as black on black crime. But the talking point, you heard it so much, you didn't even think about white on white crime. My point is, when it comes to black people supporting boxing, black people are supporting boxing. We're here on this platform supporting boxing. When I go over to the East Coast, that's New York. The majority of fans there are black. You got to think about this. It's the same thing. It's the complete opposite of the West Coast. In the West Coast, it's predominantly Mexican fans. So it makes sense that you're going to have a lot of Mexican fans on the West Coast, right? And when you go over to New York, it's more understandable. You're going to have a lot of black fans. So once again, that's a talking point that was thrown out as a distraction to distract away from the divisiveness in the sport of boxing. Let me go ahead and touch on what Dude said about a flag. Once again, I touched on this and I said, look, man, once again, man, you have to understand something. No matter how your mom treated you, no matter if you feel your mom, she treated your sister better than you, or your bigger brother, your younger brother, you may not like your mom, but at the end of the day, that's your mother. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, with America, it don't matter if we don't like how some people that's ran the country have treated us, we still all American. It's still, there's no reason to rep another flag. If you've been here for 400 years, statistically and factually, you're American. To answer his question, the reason why Mexicans rep another flag is because a lot of Mexican fans are first, second, third generation Mexicans. They can trace themselves exactly to the city they come from, to the block that their mother and grandparents came from, right? But there's a reason why white and black people, if you've been here for 400 years, you can't really trace yourself back to, an exact city or country you come from. So now it's different, like Andrew Tabiti, for example. Andrew Tabiti, he's a real African-American man. You know what I'm saying? His parents, I think he's half. So someone like him, you know what I'm saying, it's more easier and it makes more sense for him to represent, a Nigerian flag or Ethiopian flag or whatever the case may be. But if you are all American, to me, there's no reason to, come up with another flag and all that kind of stuff. If you want to do if you want to do that, that's your prerogative. But it doesn't make any sense because
we have a flag. I'm not talking about something we made up.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but all I'm saying is, and it's okay to do that. But I'm just saying, if you done been here for 400 years, if you've been born and raised in New York, you know what I'm saying, you a New York person. You know what I'm saying? You Brooklyn or whatever, that's what you are because that's where you at. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna always be proud to represent, the city, wherever you come from. So, and I'm not trying to, force this on nobody. I'm just saying, we are American no matter how we look at it. I don't look at American as it just being, a white country. I look at it as the location that we're in. You know what I mean? That's the address, that's where we are. So that's pretty much how I see it. But once again, man, the Mexican fans, they represent a Mexican flag. The majority of them, they speak Spanish. The majority of them, like I said, once again, first, second generation. But when it comes to black folks, our mamas, was here. And, so I'm just saying, regardless of what we think about the country, it doesn't change, where we actually, came from. So that's how I see it, man. But once again, man, it's nothing wrong with wanting to rep another flag. But that is our flag as far as I'm concerned. I believe our flag is the American flag. Regardless, I may not agree with the people that ran the country, or some of the people who's running the country now. But it's but the difference is we ain't got to agree with none of their views. But this just happens to be where I was born. If I don't like Long Beach, California, I can't change it and say I'm not born and raised in Long Beach, California. It's factual that that's where I'm from, so that's pretty much how I look at that, man. But anyway, you guys want to say anything else on that before I take I'm gonna take another call?
Yeah, my thing is I agree with you, man. Our lineage is deep, and like even some shows ago we were saying about where black people have taken on this ideology or philosophy of this ain't our country, this and that. We've been here for 400 or 500 years. We've shifted the culture of this country. We're heavily influenced, in the global influence of American culture is surrounded by how we influence it. Mm-hmm. We have built almost everything. We have fought in every single war this country has had. We have deep lineage here. Yeah, our lineage is deeper than a lot of whites that are here who are new to this country.
And see, Reggie, and that's why I actually see things, the other way around when it comes to what my man who just called in said. I look at it as the contrary. I'm offended when you try to say this is more of your country than my country. I say this is my country because we built this country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we done did this from the ground up. Michael Jordan,
we bled on it.
Michael Jackson, hip hop, all that. I mean, let's just be real. That's American stuff. We are more American as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I'm saying people have to stop looking at it as America as white America. No. If I've been here for 400 years, I done put in all that damn seniority. No, yeah, this is mine's right here. This is mine's right here.
And when you go into, and just like when you travel internationally, they look at you as an American. Some blacks, not all, are the only people who don't look at themselves as Americans. They look at themselves as some foreigner. But you go anywhere within this country, you travel from America, they look at blacks as Americans. And they look at blacks as the influencers of American culture. That cowboy stuff doesn't cross any one of these oceans.
Yeah,
I mean, people have to wake up and start owning this shit.
Yeah, man, you got to own it. And the thing is, with this kind of conversation, sometimes people kind of get distracted and they kind of, they kind of get pulled away from the actual point or the goals. And I'll be honest, some black people, and I ain't saying my man in particular, but some black people, they try to out-black you. Like, let me try to prove I'm blacker than you. My car is black. My pillows are black. My door is even black. You know what I'm saying? So I'm blacker than you. This ain't about trying to out-black nobody. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's about fighting for justice, fighting for what's right and what's wrong. It's about treating people the way you want to be treated at the end of the day. All that other, I'm blacker than you or whatever, that's just a distraction. That's getting away from the actual point. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much what that is, man. That's pretty much what that is.
Yes, indeed.
And you know what? And yeah, my man brought it up, man. Devin Haney versus Burgos. Devin Haney versus Burgos, man. Shout out to Devin Haney, man. I wanted to actually cover that fight, but I can't do it now because like I said, I'm gonna be flying out this Sunday, man. But yeah, man, it's going down. It's definitely going down.
Oh,
Devin Haney,
fight
yeah,
too,
Showtime, and he's fighting in the main event. And he's fighting against a real fighter. You know what I mean? Burgos won 12. I think Burgos won 12 rounds with Mikey Garcia. So this is a real fight right here. This is a real fight. Wait, is Burgos the one that dropped Mikey?
I believe so.
Because you guys tell me in the comment section. I'm forgetting if Burgos is the one that dropped Mikey Garcia. But yeah, man, Burgos is a real deal. And this is one of the great things. This is one of the great things once again of boxing, man. Seeing these fighters make that transition from, fighting against journeymen or tomato cans to all of a sudden now fighting against top level opposition. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much what it is, man. So I'm really looking forward to this fight. And it's going down. This weekend, right? It's this Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Saturday. Yeah.
The last guy, the last Devin he fought wasn't bad either. I can't think of his name right now, but the last guy was considered a step up fight, and he dominated him.
He's been stepping it up. He's been stepping it up, man. That's what's up, man. And somebody said in the comment section, well, I don't know if they responded to me or you correct me if you're not responding to me, but I'm assuming he is because every once in a while I look at the comment section. I just seen dude said the Black Channel. It's so funny when people say certain things like this because you're here with us. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what do you so you saying that you like black channels? That's what you basically saying? If you are basically, depicting the channel as a black channel, you're saying that that's what you represent, right? You represent the black channel. So if you got that black pride, what are you complaining about? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense if you here with us and you saying that. That's like somebody in the comment section saying, hey, man, every time I tune in, you're talking about race. Wait a minute. Every time you tune in? How long you been tuning in? And you still tuning in? So that means you actually supporting, you confused as hell. You actually sitting over here supporting what you feel that you against. You know what I mean? That's like going to McDonald's and say, man, every time I come over here, y'all selling hamburgers. Now let me order 3 double cheeseburgers and a Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? These cats are so damn conflicted with their own self. Decafs, man. That's the way decafs think, man. So yeah, man. I was supposed to be out of here, but hey, let's take another call. This is too fun, man. Hope we get a decaf before I hang up, man. Hey, anyway, we got 909. I guess that's Cali, man. It sounds like Cali. What's going on? What's your name? Where you calling from, man? 909, you there?
Hey, man. What? Yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, what's going on, man? What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, this is Hector, man. I'm calling from Ontario, California.
What's going on, Hector? What's on your mind, man?
Hey, man, I was just wondering, there's been a lot of, I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but there's been like a lot of talks between Canelo and Spence.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. There was a lot of talk of that, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot about that fight. That is another huge. That would be another huge fight. Because Oscar De La Hoya, Kirk. Speak on that a little bit. What do you know about that? Because Oscar De La Hoya, he said he wanted that fight, right? Now, did Canelo or Team Canelo, did they say that they wanted it too?
I'm not sure where they stand with that. I've heard there's been, talks, there's been rumors, of course. That's definitely a big fight. I'm not sure if Spence is ready for that right now. I think he has some things he has to clear up at welterweight.
Yeah.
And Mikey Garcia fight, I think that's on the table. That's more than likely to happen. Same promoter, same network, etc. But somewhere down the line, if Canelo can, keep on the same path he's on and stay avoiding any losses or setbacks, you can definitely see that in the future. That's a huge fight.
That's a huge fight, Kirk.
What do you guys make of that fight?
That would be a tough fight for Errol Spence. It'll be a tough fight for Errol Spence. I mean, especially I'm real impressed with the way Canelo looked against Gennady Golovkin.
I'm really impressed too. I cannot believe Canelo was backing him up.
Yeah.
He looked so small in there. He was just so small in there. I mean, this really debunks the whole. I honestly, to be honest with you, I was looking at Canelo. He was so much bigger in the first fight with Triple G, and in this fight, he's a lot smaller. And he just, to me, I don't think the guy was really on anything. But now that I've seen him backing up Canelo in the second fight, it's just like it makes no sense. I don't know.
He did better. He did better.
What?
Go ahead, Reggie.
I was gonna say, what's that old adage that the Mayweathers or Mayweather Wood would say? Skills pay the bills. That's what it is. Weight. I mean, if you're skilled enough, you can overcome a physical disadvantage.
He looked better.
And that's what Canelo did.
He looked a lot. I mean, he was a lot smaller this time, man.
A lot smaller.
Mm-hmm. And it's just, you know, I mean, he just looked like a junior middleweight in there, really, or you know, with the big heavy. I mean, a big middleweight. I mean, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, I you know, that I think that would be a great fight. Going back to the Spence fight with Canelo, I think that would be a great fight. If Spence gets that opportunity, I think he should take that chance. You know, take that opportunity, because I mean, that could make, you know, that can skyrocket his career.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, I think both. I mean, Errol Spence would be doing basically what Mikey Garcia is attempting to do. Errol Spence would be in the same situation. I actually would like to see the fight. I would like to see the Errol Spence versus Canelo fight. I think it'll be a good fight. And now with HBO out of the boxing business, who knows? Maybe that makes it easier for them to make the Canelo versus Errol Spence fight. You know, who knows? Maybe they'll work more with Showtime now, because Canelo's already had a fight on Showtime before. So anything is possible, man. But yeah, I like.
Well,
go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if Oscar's
pissed if that ever happens.
What you say?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
Would be pissed if that ever happens.
If they ever you say you'd be pissed off if Golden Boy start working with Showtime?
Yeah. No, I was gonna. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh yeah, I was saying.
Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller, real quick.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that I don't know if Oscar's gonna, you know, I don't know if he's gonna want to work with Showtime and with Al Heyman. You know, now that Al Heyman is getting most of the pie from Showtime, most of the money.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you this, man. Bob Arum, he told me in an interview I did with him that he would never work with Al Heyman. Now he is clamoring. He is desperately trying to work with Al Heyman now. You know, so with that being said, anything is possible. Like I told you before, there were big time reporters that were, you know, just completely discrediting Al Heyman and telling the public that PBC is sending me emails to cover fights. I'm throwing their emails in the trash. And fast forward present day, now they're actually covering Al Heyman fights. So anything is possible, man. I mean, it gets to the point sometime where you have no choice, because Oscar is not going to have that many options. Either he's going to go try to get it. Either he's going to try to get a deal with ESPN, or he's going to try to go Eddie Hearn route and try to create his own DAZN. You know, or
if you really think, yeah, I was going to say, if you really think about it, I mean, now that Canelo has these titles, a WBC title and all that, he's going to have to eventually. He's going to have to, you know, fight his mandatories, which is the Charlo and other fighters from other networks and stuff. So, I mean, they're going to have to find a way to make it happen. You know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. So don't be surprised, man, if they end up at Showtime or like I said, man. I mean, but I'm hoping we ain't gonna have to do a whole bunch. I hope everybody ain't gonna go the subscription route and try to do the zone stuff, and we have to pay $10 for every single, you know, promotion or some promotional company, you know, and watch their fights on streamed, you know, networks or websites.
One thing I can say, I'm just going to cancel my HBO subscription. There's no need for it since they're gone.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I would say probably 70% or higher of boxing fans, they only had HBO because of the boxing. I know I did. You know, that was the only reason. Yeah. I was the only reason. And now I actually gave up HBO a long time ago, and I had just purchased Sling. I had Sling on my Amazon stick, my Fire Stick. And
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that make all the sense. People sleeping on Sling combined with the Fire Stick, because, you know, you can have your Fire Stick, you can have all your movies and all that kind of stuff. But then if you add Sling on there, you could have live TV with your stream movies. So that's what I did. So now I can so now and I was paying $40, had HBO, Showtime, all the cable channels, and I had DVR.
Tell me about it, man. I pay $160 a month for all those channels with
cable.
With cable.
Yeah, dude, I was paying more than that because I had like 200. I was paying like 200 plus, man, for cable, DVR, all that HD bullshit. Yeah, man. So now I'm paying like $40 on Sling, and now the HBO done gave up and waved the white flag. Now my bill gonna drop to about 20 or $30.
Go. Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but going back on HBO too. I mean, all they had to do was just get rid of Jim Lampley and Larry Merchant for good, and just keep other people, you know, get some new blood going, you know.
Facts, completely facts.
That's all they had to do. That's all they had to do, and they would have thrown a curveball. They would have, you know, they wouldn't be in this. They wouldn't have gone out of boxing, you know.
And you make a great point, man, because I just thought about what you just said right now. HBO didn't realize.
All they had to do was just that.
HBO didn't realize that nobody cared about Jim Lampley's voice. People were actually, it got to the point where a lot of people were saying they turned the audio down. Even Abel Sanchez said that. He said, I don't even really listen. I don't even listen to them when they're covering fights.
You know the crazy thing about Abel Sanchez? He said that, and they were praising Insider the most.
And they were and that's when you know that makes them look real bad. When the guy that they were praising is still dissing you. You know what I mean? So here's
another thing. Canelo, like they, you know, he's the number one right now since Floyd is gone. He's the number one cash cow, and they're not even respecting him. And they're making it seem like Golovkin, you know, beat him, and you know, they're still, you know, they're still promoting Golovkin in a way that, you know, they basically making it sound like Canelo's, you know, like Golovkin got robbed, and it's just like this guy's a cash cow, and you guys are like basically like, you know, like making, you guys are basically going out of business too, because you guys are saying all these things about Canelo, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right. They're not objective. They speak their opinions as though it's absolute fact.
And you know, Canelo's one of those guys. He hears these things, he's going to flex on them and get out of their network. He probably hasn't heard, you know, paid attention at that. I don't know if he's got PR people around him or Oscar, but I'm sure Oscar has, and he's pissed probably. He's like, okay, you guys are gone. Let me get out of here.
Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with Mayweather. That's why he left and went to Showtime.
Yeah, that's an excellent.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well,
hey,
anyways, guys, I like listening to your show, man. I like listening to your you know, your show. I'm a truck driver, and I'm always listening to you guys. You guys have a great day, man.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling in, man. So yeah, man. You know, I want to go back and touch on what he just said. That's a good point, man, because if you think about it, HBO could have easily either reprimanded. They could have reprimanded Jim Lampley or Larry Merchant, or I guess they fired. I don't know if they fired Jim or fired Larry, or he just got tired and retired. But whatever it is, they could have easily said, Jim, look, man, you're going to have to be more fair. You're going to have to be unbiased, or we're going to have to let you go. Dude is right. They could have easily did that long time ago with Jim, because at the end of the day, even though people are used to hearing Jim Lampley's voice, people are tuning in for the fights. They're not tuning in to hear what Jim Lampley has to say. They're tuning in for the fight, so they really could have let Jim Lampley go. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, when you have some corrupt police officers in the academy, what do? You fire them. You know what I'm saying? You don't let them stay there. So they could have did this with Jim Lampley. They could have let him go. And that probably would have stopped that ship from sinking. And, you know, but...
Well, they would also have to get rid of Max Kellerman and the worst judge I've ever seen, Harold.
Oh my God, that was just comical. That was comical, boy. But no, I mean, yeah, you're right. They would have to get rid of everybody. They would just have to reboot from scratch. That's what they would have had to do, you know. And they didn't do it, man. And now it's too damn late. And now it's nah. Goodbye.
And the sad thing is too, as bad as they were, it's another outlet for boxers to get some airtime, to get some showtime.
Yeah,
so
man.
that's the one drawback to it. We've lost an outlet, which is sad.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we lost an outlet, but at the same time, now we're gonna get, you know, a lot more fights on Showtime, on ESPN, and hopefully we get a lot more of these fights for free, man. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. I didn't get to
Hey, Dante.
What's up, man?
I was gonna say, can you get a exclusive with Roy and get his take on this HBO experience?
Already on it, bro. Already on it. I already thought about it. That's coming soon. You already know, man. You already know. Good looking, Reggie. So, all right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I thank you guys once again. My man Reggie, who's always showing that love on the show, and my regular panelist, Kirk Jackson. Check out his articles, boxinginsider.com. Y'all already know what it is. So I will be returning later next week. So I won't be doing the show this Sunday. That's why I'm doing the show tonight to make up for Sunday's show. And I'll be trying to do a show. Worst case scenario, I might be off next week, but for sure it would only be 1 week if I am off. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, man. Once again, man, Dante's Cooking Nation coming real soon. I'm already in heavy production. I done already shot a gang of footage. You know, we got food just slanging, man. In the kitchen, wrist twisting like a stir fry. It's going down, y'all. It's going down like a plane crash on Dante's Boxing Nation, Dante's Cooking Nation, Dante's Travel Nation. That's what it is, man. I'll catch up with you guys later. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hashtag new media. Hashtag decaf busters. Hashtag Dante's Boxing Nation. We see y'all next week, man. On to the next one. Yep.